In a characteristically caustic year-end message, former Russian president and current Security Council deputy chairman Dmitry Medvedev abandoned his tradition of publishing ironic predictions, opting instead for a defiant reflection on what he described as a decisive year for Russia. Medvedev claimed that despite Western expectations, Russia's economy avoided collapse, the ruble stabilized, and Moscow's military continued what he called a successful campaign against its enemies. He asserted that the inevitability of Russia's victory had now become clear, framing it as the central outcome of the year. Medvedev's remarks quickly took a darker turn. Without naming Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, he referred to him in dehumanizing terms, accusing him of wishing death not only upon an individual, but upon Russia as a whole. Medvedev alleged that such rhetoric had translated into concrete orders for large-scale attacks. While stopping short of openly calling for Zelensky's killing, he suggested that death was already close at hand, before launching into a grotesque and mocking fantasy about displaying Zelensky's preserved body in a St. Petersburg museum for scientific purposes. His comments, laced with crude insults and science fiction imagery, underscored the increasingly hostile tone adopted by senior Russian officials as the war drags on. The rhetoric came as Russia escalated warnings following what it described as a major Ukrainian drone attack targeting President Vladimir Putin's state residence. Russia's foreign ministry said the incident marked a turning point. Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova warned on Monday that Moscow's response would not be confined to diplomatic channels. The answers will not be diplomatic, she said in comments carried by Russian media. Let them not get their hopes up. According to Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, Ukraine launched what he called a terrorist attack overnight between December 28th and 29th, deploying 91 long-range unmanned aerial vehicles against the presidential residence in Russia's Novgorod region.
During the night of December 28 to 29, 2025, the Kyiv regime launched a terrorist attack using 91 long-range unmanned aerial vehicles against the state residence of the President of the Russian Federation in the Novgorod region. All unmanned aerial vehicles were destroyed by the air defense systems of the Russian Federation's armed forces. No information has been received regarding casualties or damage from UAV debris.
It is important to note that this particular action was undertaken during intensive negotiations between Russia and the United States concerning the settlement of the Ukrainian conflict.
Such reckless actions will not be left without a response. The targets for retaliatory strikes and the timing of their execution by the Russian armed forces have been precisely determined. However, we do not intend to withdraw from the negotiation process with the United States, at the same time considering the complete degeneration of the criminal Kyiv regime, which has now fully embraced a policy of state terrorism. Russia's negotiating position will be thoroughly revised.
Lavrov said all drones were intercepted by air defenses and confirmed there were no casualties or material damage. Despite this, he described the attack as reckless and destabilizing, particularly given ongoing diplomatic efforts. Lavrov stressed that while Russia remained formally committed to a U.S.-mediated peace process, the incident would force a reassessment of Moscow's negotiating stance. Russia's negotiating position will be revised, he said, adding that Russian armed forces had already identified targets and timelines for retaliatory strikes. Zakharova echoed that message, calling the attempted attack unprecedented due to its timing. She claimed it occurred while peace initiatives were being discussed in the United States, accusing Kyiv of deliberately sabotaging diplomatic efforts. In particularly harsh language, she described Ukrainian leadership as violent extremists intent on derailing negotiations. The Kremlin also highlighted international reactions to the alleged attack. Foreign policy aide Yuri Ushakov said that U.S. President Donald Trump expressed shock and anger during a phone call with Putin, reportedly saying he could not imagine such actions by Kyiv.
Donald Trump and his key advisors who were present during that particular conversation have provided a comprehensive and highly detailed briefing regarding the principal outcomes of yesterday's negotiations that took place at Mar-a-Lago with the Ukrainian delegation. Their presentation, that is, according to the American account, during the course of these negotiations, the American side assertively put forward the idea concerning the absolute necessity for Kyiv to undertake concrete and tangible steps towards a definitive and lasting resolution of the conflict, rather than merely sheltering behind demands for a temporary cessation of hostility.
Ukraine, however, firmly denied responsibility. President Volodymyr Zelensky rejected Moscow's claims, accusing Russia of fabricating a pretext to undermine diplomatic progress and justify potential strikes on Kyiv's government district. The episode illustrates how military incidents, rhetoric, and diplomacy remain tightly intertwined, with each side accusing the other of escalation, even as peace talks hang in the balance.
President Putin told me about it. Early in the morning, he said he was attacked. It's no good. It's no good. Don't forget, the Tomahawks. I stopped the Tomahawks. I didn't want that. Because we're talking about, it's a delicate period of time. This is not the right time. It's one thing to be offensive, because they were offensive. It's another thing to attack his house. It's not the right time to do any of that, and can't do it. And I learned about it from President Putin today. I was very angry about it. Please. What? Well, it came out, well, we'll find out. I mean, you're saying maybe the attack didn't take place. It's possible too, I guess, but...
I'm asking about the relationship between you and the Prime Minister.
What about it?
They said that there is no relationship, good relationship between you.
I don't think it can be better. We just won a big war together. If we didn't beat Iran, you wouldn't have had peace in the Middle East, because nobody would have been able, the Arab countries who have been fantastic, would not have been able to make a deal. If we didn't wipe out their nuclear, we wiped it out. If we didn't wipe out with our beautiful B-2 bombers, if we didn't, and we sent a lot of Tomahawks in there also, by the way, from a submarine.
And what about the pardon that the President of Israel needs to give the Prime Minister?
A pardon? I think he will. How do you not? He's a wartime Prime Minister who's a hero. How do you not give a pardon? I think it's a very hard thing not to do it. I spoke to the president, and he tells me it's on its way.
Mr.
You
President,
can't do better than that, right? Please.
Mr. President, can I follow up on Venezuela? Was the facility taken out by the U.S. military, or was it another entity like the CIA?
Well, I don't want to say that. I know exactly who it was, but I don't want to say who it was. But it was along the shore.
Mr. President, have you or anyone in your administration talked to Maduro in recent days?
Well, I spoke to him.
Recently?
Pretty recently. Reasonably, but nothing much comes of it, yeah.
Mr. President, can you explain the importance...
You have to understand what he's done. They've sent billions of dollars of drugs in. But maybe just as bad, they've sent hundreds of thousands of people in from jails, from prisons, from mental institutions and insane asylums. The drug lords, the drug dealers were all sent into our country. But think of it, what he's done. Tren de Aragua, probably the worst gang. They cut off people's fingers. One man made a phone call to complain about them. He cut off their hand. They cut off his hand. Don't ever make a phone call again. We'll cut off your other hand. After that, we'll kill you, they said. That was in Colorado. No, they sent in all of the bad ones. They sent in some bad people. And that to me was just terrible. And they send in drugs. Now, I will say this, 97% of the drugs coming in by sea stopped. We're trying to figure out who the other 3% are. They have a hard time getting people to pilot those boats. But 97% of the drugs coming in by the ocean, by the sea, by water, are gone. Every boat that we take out, we save 25,000 lives of Americans. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you. We're going to have a big meeting, and we'll see you in a couple of hours if you'd like. And if you'd like, you can come up and have lunch like you did yesterday. Would you like that or not? Do you want that? Because some of them think it's terrible. It's a bribe. But, you know, a bribe for $25, I don't know. If you'd like, you can go. And if you don't, you can stand in a driveway and melt. All right? But if you want, will you work on that, Margot? Yes, sir. Is Margot doing a good job? She's a star. She's too nice. Her only problem is she's too nice to you. And you're not nice to us, but that's okay. Margot, take them up and have a beautiful lunch, and we'll see you later.
Are you worried that the alleged strike on Putin's residence could scuttle the peace?
Yeah, I don't like it. It's not good. I heard about it this morning. You know who told me about it? President Putin told me about it. Early in the morning, he said he was attacked. It's no good. It's no good. Don't forget, you know, the Tomahawks. I stopped the Tomahawks. I didn't want that. Because we're talking about, you know, it's a delicate period of time. This is not the right time. It's one thing to be offensive, because they were offensive. It's another thing to attack his house. It's not the right time to do any of that, and can't do it. And I learned about it from President Putin today. I was very angry about it. Please. What? Well, it came out. Well, we'll find out. I mean, you're saying maybe the attack didn't take place. It's possible too, I guess. But President Putin told me this morning it did.